friends, your favorite besties are back for another episode of No Ma'am. I'm Will, and I'm joined by my chaotic podcast co-hosts.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of No Ma'am.
All right, so before we get into the actual episode, please make sure to subscribe to our Patreon. It's only $5, and we have a lot of exciting episodes in store. Go over, subscribe, and support the channel. You'll also get early access to videos and interviews, and it'll help us support so that we can make more content for you. We're diving into episode 8 and 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 10. And let's just say the reviews are in, and this bracket is giving meh, ma'am, at best. Be honest. We got it. Spoilers, no spoilers. Did Ginger really beat Denali in that lip sync? We're going to get into all of it. Right. And again, if you came here for a full episode recap, baby, you already know what it is. Open another tab, find one, because we're only covering the juicy bits. All right. So, can we start by talking about the MVQ point drama that began in the first, I would say, 10 minutes of episode 8? All right. So, the week prior, so episode 7, right, was the Wicked Good Challenge, which left 4 queens pointless: Cynthia, Acid Betty, Denali, and Alyssa Hunter. And now it's time to obviously pass the charity, because technically there are charity points, around like a brunch mimosa. And if you're like us, we don't share mimosas. So just so you know. Right. But Cynthia gave her point to Alyssa. Denali gave hers to Acid. Alyssa gave hers back to Cynthia. And then Acid gave hers to Denali. So basically, it was the Sisterhood of traveling MVQ points. I get why they did it, but from a viewer's perspective, it really gave best friend race and not all-star strategy.
Yeah, it's literally the complete opposite of what we saw happen the previous bracket, where the girls were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you, just give it to me," and then they fully did not give it to them.
Right.
So I appreciate it because they are being, I guess you could kind of say fair or whatever, or they're trying to be friendly. But in terms of making good TV, it was boring to me. Like
It
that was
was,
not.
right? And I also think, because we talked upon this a little bit, I also think, especially coming after Mistress Isabel Brooks, which gave us Chaos and TV Gold in bracket 2, this kind of felt like a kumbaya retreat.
Mhm.
And so that's why this bracket in particular, just they didn't really get the fan reception as much as they should have.
Which is weird because like that's not what I would have expected from the bracket that has Acid Betty and Diet Betty.
It's correct. Now, let's get into the mini challenge. So, in honor of the 30-year anniversary of Clueless, which happens to be one of my favorite movies, the queens had to channel their inner Cher, which they should have been Cher and Dion, but that's, racism. But there was no black queens on this episode, so probably why they didn't do that, which they shouldn't, because I don't need to see a queen in blackface. That,
R-
right?
Raven.
But anyways, I live though. Like, I loved Clueless. Clueless raised me, plaid, iconic, hello, duh.
Ah,
But
as
also,
if.
as if, right? But we do need to unpack one of these days why she wanted to hook up with her stepbrother, and we just kind of like swept that under the rug as kids.
I
It was
mean,
like incest, but make it fashion. I'm just saying.
have you seen that man?
Yeah, but that was her stepbrother, Jhoany.
But have you seen that man?
Yes, I've seen that man. Yes, 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 I have. But that doesn't give Cher the excuse as to wanting to fuck her stepbrother. No.
Have you seen that man?
Anyways, because I'm not gonna go there. So the winner of the mini challenge is Denali, and she snatches the $1,000 prize. So, question is, friends, do you agree? Did you think Denali did the best in the mini challenge? And now, obviously, we are 2 episodes like late, but did you think that she won? Let us know. Drop it in the comments. Okay, so let's get to the mini challenge, y'all. It's time to yeehaw. Pew pew. Away in 2 country girl groups with 2 original songs. First one is Key Your Car, which is a heartbreak and sweet revenge type of song. And then we have Trailer Hitch, which is how to get or how to keep your man's attention. Now, personally, I think I would pick Key Your Car because it gave me Jasmine Sullivan, Bust Your Windows type of energy. And that's the type of person I am, Like, if I'm gonna be in a relationship with you and you do something crazy, I'm going for the juggler. It's already Gemini of me. I need to, It was also given, Angela Bassett throwing a cigarette in the car and lighting it on fire and then
Mm.
walking away. Insert the gift here, like that meme is Chef's
Gift?
Kiss. Gift. What is it?
Gift, not gift. It's not a fucking
I thought it
present.
was like Jif. It's not like Jiffy. Jiffy?
It's
No.
gift. It's gift. No T.
But you know, you know. But which one would you have wanted to do?
The same thing. I ultimately, I did not like either of these songs, honestly. But I'm also not like a very big like. I wanted them to give, especially this group of queens. I wanted them to give them something very big, like Denali, who has given us one of the best verses of all time. Period, hands down. You can fight me if you want. I wanted her to get something like super popish or maybe super urban because I think she would demolish that. But unfortunately,
Yeah, and all the girls wanted Trailer Hitch, but no shade. Trailer Hitch was the worst one. Kia Car was better. Just saying.
yeah. Ultimately, I
But
didn't like either though.
yeah, but the groups ended up like this. Kia Car had Diabetes, Ginger Minge, and Cynthia Lee Fontaine. And then Trailer Hitch had Denali, Alyssa Hunter, and Acid Betty. And let's be real, no drama was ensued deciding who goes where, which is fine, but really low key, Mistress really spoiled the last bracket for us.
I know.
So we needed like a puppet master to like say, "Ooh, my master plan."
This
Ooh,
is yeah, we needed somebody to be like, this is the group I want, this is who I want in it. Everyone else is in that group. Yeah, I wish we
yeah.
had some of that. But it's also a little refreshing to see the girls get along, honestly, and not necessarily fight about everything.
That's true. But, if we're being honest, if this bracket came before bracket two, we probably would be singing a different tune. But right now, it's giving us soft serve. And, we're hungry and we want it, especially coming after bracket two, we want it to live up to that, right? Like, you can't go back down. Like, no, it's bracket three. It's the bracket before the semifinals. Like, we want it to be like, boom, here you go. And then all we got was kind of like, right. Okay. So
No
let's
shades to the
talk about our
queens.
right. But what was amazing for this bracket is the eye candy that we got. So let's talk about our
Before.
cowboy coach. Instead of Michelle Visage, we got Orville Peck. Now, love the voice,
Sad.
love the vibes, but can somebody explain to me why we stay thirsting over Orville? Is it the mystery? Is it the fringe mask? Because we can't see his face, yet he's hot. Like, what's going on? I'm confused.
Have you not seen or everyone's seen him without his mask? He's hot.
Really? I
Yeah.
haven't seen him. What else?
We did
No, I wasn't
this.
really. I'm actually not really checking for Orville Pack,
I
but
love Orville Peck. He can I hate country music, but he can sing me any country tunes he wants, any day of the week. I love Orville Peck. I think it's the eyes for me. Because all you see is just the eyes. And I think he has really pretty eyes.
I just like his voice
The voice is
because
ooh,
he has the country accent, but he's not country. He's from South Africa.
yeah, it's weird. But that deep ass voice, ooh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So he's technically African American. I mean,
Uh,
if you're gonna be if
I
you want
mean,
to be
yeah.
technical, he's technically African American. No shade, but it's true.
Yeah.
All right. So, friends, sign off in the comments. What is it about Orwell that has us in the chokehold? I really want to know. Okay. So, I mean, he is South African, so you never know. It may actually.
Okay.
Uh, listen, apartheid. Just saying.
Well,
Just saying. No, no shade, no shade.
all right.
I can say that because clearly, hello, hi. All right. So let's get into the challenge performance itself. Now, I have a few standouts. Obviously, this may be a controversial hot take, but I thought Ginger was a standout. She gave funny, she gave confidence, and she knew how to grab your attention. I think that's something that Ginger is really great at doing, which a lot of the probably the younger queens don't know that about Ginger because from season six they probably like who the fuck is Ginger Minge, right? Which is why she's getting so much hate from the fans because they're like, oh, she didn't do nothing, she didn't do nothing, and we're like, first of all, Ginger did a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really over the hate.
Correct, because they didn't. Yeah. Cynthia and Daya, I thought sounded great. I think Cynthia sounded a little bit better than Daya, but I think as a whole, that group wasn't bad. I think that was cute. Now, on the opposite side, we had Trailer Hitch, which to me felt a little mismatch. Like it felt like three different queens from three different bands forced together in a carpool.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. I was like, it was giving X Factor when they would put random people together as a group. Yeah, Fifth
Clearly,
Harmony,
it was giving Fifth Harmony and
One
One Direction.
Direction. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
And Alyssa, like, we love her. Alyssa Hunter, we love her. But that country slash Puerto Rican accent combo, baby, baby, it was hilarious. And she also knew it too, because listen, that's what made it fun. It's like, listen, we love a queen who can laugh at themselves, but we think it's genuine and it's lighthearted. So the runway theme of episode 8 was Night of a Thousand Mileys. So let's get into this looks. Oh, all right. So first up, we have Acid Betty. What did you think of Acid Betty's look?
The for the to me, this was a meh. like when I first saw it, it didn't fully scream Miley to me like right away. Like it wasn't like, oh my God, yeah, that's a Miley Cyrus look. I wasn't a big fan of the chest, the very obviously drawn in chest. Wasn't a huge fan of that. And also just wasn't a huge fan of the fabric choice. But it's
Hmm.
not bad. I just think this is not. I think I expected more from Esther Betty is really what it comes down to, especially with this category. Being who Esther Betty is, I feel like she could have done a little bit better. Being that Miley has had some things that I feel like have been very punk, and I think Acid could have executed that better.
Okay. Well, this is from the 2015 VMAs, so that was the Miley look that she was doing. I gave it a soft ma'am, and the reason why, just like you, the nude illusion wasn't giving. From the top up, the nude illusion wasn't giving.
Yeah.
But the bottom, I love that. And the reason why she got a soft ma'am, even though the nude illusion was not a gag, was that it was a different silhouette from Acid, and so I didn't
Okay, that's
expect it to
fair.
come around the corner. I was like, okay.
Okay, I can say that.
All right. Then we have Alyssa Hunter, who is doing the 2024 Grammys look. I gave Alyssa a yes, ma'am, but to me, this was really too identical to Miley's original look. I would have liked a little bit of more of Alyssa Hunter infused into it, but is this still a great look? It's still a great look.
I give it a yes, ma'am. I think it's a great look. A little safe for Alyssa Hunter, I would say, but I think she looks great, like she always does.
Yep,
You know.
always. Fashion queen. All right. So next up, we have Denali, and she's doing the 2013 VMAs look. I gave this a no, ma'am. I wanted more. I did not like the look when Miley did it on the VMAs, and I don't like it now.
Okay, okay. I see what you're saying. Is this a good look necessarily? No. Is it true to what the look was, and like, did she execute that well? Yes, but how much better could you do with something that was already shitty? Meh, meh.
All
It's not a
right.
great look, but I think it's just what she had to work with, if that makes
True, but she
sense.
chose this. She chose that look.
But
So
this
it
is
wasn't,
also
it
like
wasn't,
true, but if I'm thinking out of 1,000 miles, yes, this is absolutely one of the first looks I will think of. This was very iconic for her.
I guess. But somebody should have done Hannah Montana, or at least attempt to do Hannah Montana.
That's fair, but I think they would have gone to it. I think
Okay.
the producers
Well, then
probably,
we,
I feel like somebody did, and the producers probably said no.
all right. Next up, we have Cynthia Lee Fontaine doing the 2015 VMAs. And again, I said no, ma'am. I did not like the look on Miley at the VMAs that time, and I definitely don't like the look on Cynthia this time. It was giving costume, and I did not like it at all.
I actually kind of like this one. I actually like this one. I just think I love the different colored pieces of fur. I think it is true to what Miley was giving. And I know I kind of said I hated this style of wig on Denali a few episodes ago, but I actually kind of like this wig, which is weird because I didn't think I would. I think overall, as a whole look, I like it. So for me, it's a yes, man. Even down to the ugly ass shoes, which let's be real, those shoes are ugly, but I think it works well with the outfit.
All right. Okay. No comment. No judgment. All right.
But
So next up, for judgment, yes. Next up, we have Diabetti, and she's doing the 2013 Met Gala look. And I gave this an over. I fucking love
mm,
this look. This was so good to me. It was Miley inspired, but it was very dire at the same time. I loved it.
I see that. I agree, it's a great look. I love it. I love the fabric choices. I love the way it looks at her. I love that hair. But I don't think it's quite over for me. I think for me, it's a yes, man. I just think the look itself that she was doing was a little too simple, but it was
Mhm.
again, it was what it was.
I
Like
mean,
she
Miley
could,
Cyrus isn't a fashionista per se, but and she did have some questionable periods in her life with her like stuff. Yeah, it's not her fault. It was her stylist. Um, but last but not least, we have Ginger Minge doing the 2017 VMAs, and this is a no, ma'am. It wasn't bad. It just
yes, it was.
wasn't wow.
Yes, it was.
But it
No,
wasn't bad.
it wasn't horrible. No, ma'am. That's all I'm
It
gonna
was
say.
also from the younger, like the younger now
I know.
era,
And that was like the
Miley.
worst Miley
So
era.
right.
No, ma'am. That's all I'm gonna say. Because
All right.
I don't want to instigate any more hate towards
Okay.
Ginger.
It's towards Ginger, right? All right. Well, the top two of that week we found out was Denali and Ginger Minge, and they lip synced to See You Again by Miley. Now, I watched this at Hardware, and so if you've ever been to a viewing party on Fridays, Fantasy Fridays, it is with Izzy Uncut and Jasmine Kennedy. Now, Jasmine and Izzy are two of our favorite drag queens. Please make sure you go and watch that episode that we have with them. Hilarious interview. Jhoany couldn't do that because he was sick, but I did it by myself. I was running solo. And so, I did what I needed to do. But Izzy has a Miley mix that I would have loved to see Izzy's reaction to this lip sync. But Izzy had a prior engagement, so she couldn't come to the viewing party on Friday. But it would have been so nice to see Izzy like in real time what she thought of this lip sync. So Izzy, I don't think anybody's asked you, maybe Trenta, but I want to know. The besties want to know what you thought of this lip sync. And did you think they did your song justice? Just saying. So,
I mean, she did post a little bit on her story of being like, everyone's texting me about, did you see the lip sync? Because this is one of her go-to performances, and she does it so fucking well. I don't think Love Denali, Love Ginger, I don't think those girls did as good as the song deserved, and as good as we've seen somebody perform it.
that part. Now, I do want to talk about the lip sync. I want to get into some things. Oof. Okay. This may cause a little hate online, but I really don't care. I personally think Ginger won, and I'm going to tell you why. Stay with me. Stay with me, because people may think, what are you talking about? Yes, Ginger didn't do much at all. She barely even moved, but she was still performing the song. And it was something about Ginger just standing there, right, and doing these funny isms that I thought was really great. Now, Denali, love her. She was giving us Circus So Gay, and I thought that was amazing. But at the same time, the dips, the tricks, the splits, the voguing or the nogging. But half the time she wasn't lip syncing.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned this in our like lip sync assassin episode, where like there's some queens who will absolutely like flip the house down and split and jump and high kick and whatever, but then you look at the face and it's not giving. And I think this was those moments where yes, she was giving a little bit, and yes, she did great overall, but I think Ginger just emoted the song better, is
Yep,
what it really came down to. And I think there were just moments where Denali, I hate to say this, but was doing just a little bit too much for that specific part of the song.
correct.
Not that she
Listen,
was doing
not
too
every
much
song needs
overall,
a, yeah,
but like there were some
but not
moments where
every
I'm like
song needs a backflip.
that. Although that flip she did was gone.
It was so good. She landed on her feet. Like, listen, she ate that.
Yeah,
So we're not going to take away from the artistry and like the athleticism that Denali like exhibited in that lip sync. That was great, but not all lip syncs need that. And I just think that she was doing so much in that, and which kind of like took away from the lip sync.
yeah, yeah. I think had she just sprinkled it out a little bit better and not just been like full force 100 the whole time.
Yep. All right. But the fans are saying Denali was robbed. Girl, they may be right, right? Like at the end of the day, this is a TV show and this is production and that's what happens, right? These are just our opinions. So if you thought Denali was robbed, you have all the right to do so. Some people thought Ginger did well and some people thought Denali did well. But rumor has it, and I don't like to get into rumors, Willem said it, and sometimes Willem is problematic.
Not
But
the
Willem
most
said
reliable
that
source.
Denali, like, she thought she won too, and she stormed off the stage after Ginger was like declared the winner. Which, if you do some like MacGyvering and some Nancy Drew, then you would see that Denali is not on the backstage when everybody's hugging and stuff, that she's not there. So it could be some truth to that. Who knows?
Yes, but then you also do see her walking out while they're dancing with somebody right behind her. So I think that's at the point where like they dismiss the girls. But who
Yes.
knows? Again,
So we don't know, right? Like we don't know. This is all rumors. We're not saying this happened, and we're not saying this doesn't. We also know that Denali's hair is at different lengths in her confessionals, which states that maybe this was done at two different times. So
but I also feel like they probably just brought
we,
everyone back for something. That's why.
yeah, but the gays love conspiracy theories.
I know.
So, all right. But Ginger wins the lip sync. She snags $10,000 and that bonus point, officially locking her into the semifinals with 6 points. So now, the current scoreboard at this time, we have Denali with 3, we have Diabetti with 2, and then we have Cynthia, Alyssa, and Acid Betty with 1 each. So, unless the 1 point girlies band together or pull off a lip sync slay of the century, it's looking like Ginger Minj may just walks into the semifinal round, which at this point she's a shoe-in. She has solidified this. She's locked it down. Okay, so now let's get into episode 9, which is the most recent episode. And let's just say this gave us a little bit more drama that we wanted, but still not on the levels of bracket 2.
Yeah.
So the NVQ points always seems to bring the most drama in the episodes, which is why they start off with the NVQ points.
Mhm.
Okay, so Cynthia, Daya, Alyssa, and Acid Betty pretty much played a game of Drag Race Sudoku with their MVQ points. Now, I say that because in Untucked, Alyssa did tell Daya that she'll give her point to the most consistent queen. Daya, of course, thought that meant her. And spoiler, it did not. Alyssa flipped it and said consistently instead of consistent. And it was just like, it just was sending me because the shade that they were throwing was at each other was amazing. Because that's the diabetic that I love is when she gets her villainous self on. And then Alyssa, who we both love, but she can hold her own. Alyssa is not like she is not afraid of getting the girls together. But I just thought it was really funny because she kept saying consistently and not consistent.
Mhm.
And Alyssa, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, girl, we need consistently t-shirts like tomorrow.
We
Just saying.
do. I
Consistently in quotes. We needed to say consistently. Like that's it.
or you know what, some rings, some knuckle rings consistently. That'd be cut.
Consistently. Or maybe a necklace that says consistently. Like,
Consistently.
oh yes, because she serves cunt all the time.
Yes.
We love it. Okay. But that was the drama between Alyssa and Daya. But the girls were not also feeling Ginger's lip sync win, especially Alyssa, who in a very polite way said that Denali was a beast, which is fair, right? Like if you look at it from a viewer's perspective, they were there in the backstage, so they probably saw the energy that Denali was given in the lip sync, and they said, you know what, in my opinion, Denali served more, which they're right for. But Alyssa didn't say it in a malicious way. She said it like, in my opinion, we thought it was giving Denali, 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 and then you won. It's all good. Cool. So now let us get into this MVQ point chaos. So Daya gives her point to Cynthia, bringing Cynthia up to 2 points. Cynthia gives her point to Daya, bringing Daya to 3 points. Acid gives her point to Cynthia, bringing Cynthia to 3 points. And then Alyssa
Gives
gives
hers.
her point to Cynthia, giving Cynthia 4 points. And Daya's face crack was good.
The bitch was like,
Baby,
wait.
we saw the villain like story come together. Daya
The,
said, so good.
the
It was so
way
good.
that Cynthia ended up with more points than somebody who has been in the top two, I lived for it. I lived for it. Because this
Yep,
is kind of what I imagined what would ultimately happen with the MVQ points. Like they would try to push someone through that people felt didn't deserve to be in the semifinals or didn't have a challenger or whatever. I feel like this is what Carrie Colby wanted for herself. But now we're seeing
she did.
it.
Yes. Yes.
And I live for it. Also, I live for the fact that it's Cynthia.
Correct. I mean, anyone else would be like, come on now. You have to give
Yeah.
it to Kuku. All right. So now the leaderboard after this is Ginger with 6,
Mhm.
Cynthia with 4, Daya and Denali with 3, and Alyssa and Asset with 1. So, AKA, Alyssa and Asset needs to start packing emotionally because they know that they're not going into the
Yeah.
semifinal round.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty
not
much.
happening. So, like, obviously, let's talk about the challenge because the challenge was none other than an improv challenge, which is very smart for them to have. But this was the Golden Bachelor. And it really wasn't anything to cry home about or really just like deep dive into. The improv challenge was cute. Daya pretty much ate as the delusional villain. Like, she was cute. Her pink poodle was giving big bitch energy, and I loved it. It was amazing. She looked amazing. Her and Denali had some really great energy, but I thought she was swallowed up by Daya's presence, which made sense. Ginger is improv. We know Ginger's going to be great. It's improv. That's what she does. And then Acid surprised me. Remember, I was talking about how she was kind of like the dominatrix dog, and so
Mhm.
she was giving like the orders, and she would be like, "Sit down." And it was just like cute because she would break character a little bit. And then Alyssa and Cynthia, they weren't bad. They were just there.
Yeah. But I mean, not to be shady, I wouldn't expect them to be great at an improv challenge, at least based off what we have seen them do on Drag Race previously.
Correct. And the jokes just weren't landing as much as they should have. And they're so cerebral that they keep thinking about the jokes and they should just let the jokes land. Right? So all in all, it was a meh challenge, but it wasn't their fault. That's kind of what they was given. And they just kind of just played the hand that they were given. So let's get into the runway because I thought the runway was actually pretty good. And so the category is paper dolls. So up first, we have Alyssa Hunter. What did you think of the look?
Over, over.
Bitch.
This is literal art. So sculptured, so beautiful. You can see that it's made out of paper. So you can see it fit the category so well. But this is like literal art and it deserves to be hung up in a museum somewhere. She looks gorgeous. She looks beautiful. This is amazing. One of the best looks we've ever seen on the runway.
Ever, hands
Hmm.
down. This is an over. The look, the mug, Mama devoured. Like, there is nothing else I can say.
That.
Like, hands down, everything. Like, this is good.
Hmm.
This is perfection on the fucking runway. So
Hmm.
good.
Yeah, and I love the
So good.
color scheme on her. She looks so good in blue.
So good. Again, and she's showing her heritage, right? She's showing the greatness of Puerto Rico and Puerto Rican drag. This was good. I was
Hmm.
like, way to show out on the last episode of your bracket. This
That.
is what we are like. This is what we want to see.
Yeah, leave the girls wanting more at the end.
Listen,
Be like, this is what you're
yes,
not gonna get to see again.
correct. And she did. She ate and she left no crumbs.
Hmm.
All right. Next up, we have Ginger Minge. Now, I gave Ginger a yes, ma'am, but at this point, I'm just like Michelle Visage. I am tired of Marie Antoinette. I am all Marie Antoinette out.
I think what you guys are trying to reference is more Victorian era, which okay, I get. It's not always Marie Antoinette necessarily, but because the fashion during that moment was like Victorian, that's what people kind of associate with. But I get it, yes, and I kind of agree, honestly. But I think this was done well. I'd say yes, man. The only critique I have for it is I wish the shoulder thing, I forgot what the fuck you call it, would have been a little bit bigger. That's it. And then it might have even been over. No, actually, it wouldn't have. But it would have been better. I think it's just a good, well constructed.
Yep, agreed. All right. Next up, we have Denali. What did you think of Denali's look?
This was another over for me. Because again, this is like literal art. Like the way it wraps around her, the way it kind of sculpts to her curves. I think she looks beautiful. Again, this kind of reminds me of like the origami that I used to do when I was a little kid. I absolutely love this. She looked gorgeous. This was amazing for me.
Same. I agree. I said over. It was a cultural reference. Then she said this is the what alegría. I think that's what she
Alevi.
said. Yes. And I thought that was great, right? Yeah, she did. Isn't it this is the kind of the second time we got this on we got a version of this on Drag Race Mexico
Hmm.
with right? Who did it?
Matraca.
Yes. And then now we get it for Denali, and I just think that's great. Another cultural reference
Yes.
that was everything.
Yes, I live for this. I love these cultural references, especially when they're done from a Mexican queen, but that's just me being biased.
Listen, be biased all day because they did it.
Exactly
Okay.
that.
Next up, we have Acid. Now, I gave Acid Betty a soft ma'am. It was cute. I expected it, but like I really just wanted more from Acid Betty because it's Acid Betty.
I agree with that. I wanted more from Acid Betty. For me, it's a yes, ma'am. I like the construction of it. I love the hair. It's not something I expected from her at all, honestly. Like, I would not have expected to go this route. I thought she would have done something like really dark, especially being that she has a, what do you call it, a lash line that's like, that they're like made with paper, I think. So I kind of would expect her to go something more of like a darker route or more of like a neon colorish kind of. This is not what I
Mhm.
expected at all. But I like it. It's different
No, I
for Acid.
expected this. By expected, as I meant the concept, like the construction of it, right? The fact that it's like, oh, like one side is this and the other side is something else. So like the front side is like the warm side, the whimsical, and then the back is the darker side with flames and all the stuff like that. Like that's what I expected from Acid Betty. The silhouette, not so much. It's very different from her.
You can expect this color scheme at all from her, honestly. At least the front side.
It's true. This is absolutely true. Right. Next up, we have Diabetti. What did you think of Dia's look?
Is this the first time we've had three overs in one episode?
Yes, this is the
Because I
first
think it
time we've had
is.
three overs in one
Yes.
episode.
Because I live for this. This is so fucking Alexander McQueen. I live for this. I love the shoes. I love the shoulder, the cowl, whatever you want to call it, the antenna she had on her head. This reminded me so much of, have you seen, you've definitely seen this, Cruella, that
Of
dress,
course.
the moth, the moth egg dress that
Yes.
they made.
With the bugs.
Yes,
Yes.
it reminded me of that in the best way possible. I absolutely adore this. For me, this is the best Daya has ever looked, which is hard to say because she's had some amazing looks. But for me, this is the best Daya has ever looked. I love for this.
Same. This isn't over. Daya to this. Daya, you better bitch. This was great. Listen, another girl decided episode 3, final episode of my bracket. I'm gonna let the girls have it. and she did. Mama fed the children. This was an amazing look. It was so good. It was also a little different silhouette from Daya. Thought that was great too. So,
Yeah.
all right. And then last but not least, we had Cynthia Lee Fontaine. I give this a no, ma'am. I love her, but child, this is a no, ma'am.
I'm a quote, well, it's a controversial hot take. Have we ever had four
You better
overs?
not. You
No,
better
I'm
not.
I'm
You
not.
need to
I'm
hear
really
me.
not. I'm
I was
really not.
about to say, what we not gonna do, we not gonna do that. Fuck no.
I don't think it's as bad as people were saying though. I know people hated this. I know the judges weren't a huge fans of this either. I think had she just gotten rid of some of those balls around the waist, it would have been a good look. I actually really do enjoy this part of the outfit. Like that
Hmm.
I actually really enjoyed. Again, kind of took me back to origami and whatever. And I know maybe some tripophobic people might have not enjoyed this because of the way it looked. I actually really enjoyed this. It also reminded me of like growing up, we would decorate our Christmas tree with traditional Mexican decorations, which a lot of them are paper and they kind of look like this. So I don't know, maybe that's the reason I liked it. Uh, but I don't think it's as bad as people say it was. I think this was like a meh. I think there was just, if she had maybe taken some things out, it would have swallowed her less and she would have been able to present it a little bit better and really let like highlight this portion, which I really enjoyed.
My mama said, if you got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna give her a no, ma'am, and that's it, and call it a day.
That ain't never stopped you before.
Because it's that time I went in on Corey King. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. Okay. So, who had your favorite look and who had your least favorite look?
You can't do that to me. That's homophobic. I love Denali and I love
Okay.
Alyssa, but it's going to
Huh?
Daya. And it doesn't take away from how amazing their outfits were. But Alexander McQueen is one of my favorite designers, and this really just I felt like paid homage to him and his creations. So beautiful. Every aspect of this was absolute perfection. Down to the hair, all
Yep.
the little details, everything, like literally no notes at all.
All right. And so now least favorite.
I mean, yeah, it has
Mm, mm.
Cynthia. Cynthia.
All right. Agreed. So my least favorite, Cuckoo. Sorry, Cynthia. And then my favorite look, Alyssa, hands down, was an amazing look.
It
Like,
was.
done.
Well, it really was an amazing look. This is one of the best runways we've had,
Runway
yes, but
concept. Yep.
concerts, but also technically yes, because of how few queens walked it. So I guess yes, proportionally. But yeah, I want to see this runway again.
Same. All right. So now the top two of this week was Daya and Ginger, and they lip synced to Mama Used to Say by Junior. Honestly, the lip sync, it was fine. It was nothing iconic about it. But I just thought the fun fact was that this was the same duo from the first episode of the bracket. So it was kind of like a full circle, like lip sync energy kind of thing, which was
Hmm.
cute. So I liked
Yeah,
it. And then the first episode, we saw that Ginger won. And so this episode, the winner is Daya Betty, and she gets the extra points and the $10,000 bag. So now, just like in all the other brackets, the losing girls have to come up to the stage and give their MVQ points on the stage. So here we go. Cynthia gives her point to Alyssa, giving Alyssa 2 points. Denali gives her point to Acid, giving Acid 2 points. Alyssa, in a shocking defeat, gives her point to not Cuckoo, but to Denali, giving Denali 4 points, which leaves Acid Betty as the tiebreaker between Cynthia Lee Fontaine and Denali. And if you've been following Acid Betty, if you've been following the Bracket 3 storyline, then you know what happens next. Acid Betty gives her point to Cynthia Lee Fontaine in a very heartfelt hallmark moment for Acid Betty, which I think is an amazing storyline for her and a story arc and story development for Acid. We got to see a softer side of her coming from season 8 into this all-Star season. I thought the producers did this so well. Thank you for that. I think the fans need to see that Acid is a queen of all queens. Thank you for showing that side of her because I think the evolution was great. But all in all, that brings Cynthia to 5 points. So now, what's the final scoreboard? We have Ginger with 8 points, booked and busy. We have Daya with 6 points. And then we have Cynthia with 5 points, which was gifted by every single queen. She's literally the queen of donations. She
that's
is
why her
the
cuckoo's
queen
so
of
big. It's full of
donations.
donations.
That's why the cuckoo is so big, it's full of donations. But with that sealed, I'm not a mathematician, but that means the semi-finalists from bracket 3 is Ginger Minge, Daya Betty, and Cynthia Lee Fontaine. So, who is going into the semi-final round this Friday? Well, here we go. The semi-finalists of All Stars 10 are Bosco, Irene the Alien, Aja, Lydia Butthole Collins, Georges, Mistress Isabel Brooks, Ginger Minge, Diabetti, and Cynthia Lee Fontaine. So, Jhoany, was this these 9 queens? It was like 6 queens, I couldn't count for a second. Was these the 9 queens that you envisioned at the beginning of All Stars 10 to be in the semifinal round?
No, not at all. Um,
Same.
I'll be honest, definitely did not picture Irene there. At least like cast announced, whatever. I'm like, oh, but she performed very well, and I'm glad she's in the finale. She deserves it. I did not expect to see Miss Cuckoo there, but you know what? There's a reason they gave her points. Kudos to her. She's one of the nicest queens who has ever been on the show. Oh, I'm fine with her being in the finale or
Same.
semi-finale, I guess. Would I
Same.
prefer to see Denali? Yes, but I'm not mad about it. I am mad about it, but not mad at Cynthia because it wasn't her fault.
Yep. But I just love to see that the MVQ points actually worked and they
Facts.
were able to get a queen into the semifinal round. I think it showed, like, when you give a queen your points, they may actually be able to get to the semifinal rounds by donations.
That and
So,
also they could
and
use
it was,
them manipulatively and get yourself to the semifinal round.
we, we literally saw that. Great. Good point. So, friends, who was snatching the crown? Drop it in the comments. But that it's a wrap on episode 9. Whether you're Team Denali, whether you're Team Ginger, or whether you're Team Let Mistress Cook, we love all of y'all, right? Don't leave no hate to the girls. This is a TV show at the end of the day. Please just enjoy the TV show while we
Facts.
still have queer television on TV because
That
we don't know how long that's going to happen at this point. But, friends, don't forget to smash a follow on your favorite platforms. Leave us a 5-star review, comment, and tell your friends, enemies, exes. This is No Ma'am, where real talk meets legendary energy. Until next time, friends. Bye.